Once again, happy Easter and welcome everyone. Welcome to our parish family. Welcome to those who are visiting Queens and Jackson for this holy day. Welcome to all those sunburned people who have just come back from your spring break. We're glad that all of us are here, and it is true, the empty tomb still draws a crowd. And it certainly did that first Easter day, not because of celebration, but because of mass confusion. Mary Magdalene runs to the apostles and tells them they have taken Jesus' body. I don't know what they've done with him. She went there fully expecting to find a corpse. If you recall, in the Good Friday afternoon, darkness covered the earth. It was almost sundown. It was about to be the beginning of the Passover. And if they couldn't get Jesus off that cross before sundown, he was going to be left there, dead for a full 24 hours. He was removed in haste, wrapped in the shroud, and put in someone else's borrowed tomb. But now she's brought the oils and the spices to try to wash all that blood and grime and sweat off of Jesus' body so that he might at least enjoy the dignity of a more proper burial befitting his status in her mind as the Son of God. And yet, little could she have known that when she came there in the early hours of that Easter morning, the stone, so heavy, was rolled away, and all that was left was the white cloth in which Jesus had been so hastily buried. He was gone. She didn't say, "He has risen. He has done exactly as he said he did." She was confused. Simon Peter was confused. John was confused. All of Jerusalem that day, big question mark. There wasn't ham dinners and Easter egg hunts and celebration. There was a lot of confusion, shame, blame, and guilt. The apostles blaming each other and feeling so ashamed that he said they would deny him, abandon him, and betray him. One after the other, they said, "Surely it is not I," and then they did it anyway. They left him all by himself, with the exception of St. John, leaving him to his fate. And now, what does it mean? What does it mean that that tomb is empty? Well, we know how the story ends, and it never ends. It's a new beginning. 3 times before Jesus went up to the cross, he told his apostles he was going to be murdered. Each time he predicted his passion, he also predicted that he would conquer death by that cross. Once a symbol of torture in his holy hands nailed to it, it becomes a key that he will use to unlock the gates of heaven and destroy death forever, to drive out the darkness, to take our fears away, and to give us suffering people who had never known freedom the chance to live again in his kingdom, where all will be one, and all will be free, and everyone will be happy. That is the great hope that has sustained Christians through the darkest and most difficult times of human history in these last 2,000 years, and the hope of heaven is still the hope of Christians still today. Because this world still does not know him, this world still rejects his light and chooses to live in darkness, and yet he knows that we are made for more and we are marked for majesty, and by our baptism we have the opportunity to follow him where he leads us, first to Calvary, then home to heaven. We suffer for a time, but we will be happy forever. And so that is the cause of our joy this day. And it's happening in every church, in every time zone, in every state in our country, in every country on earth, and every continent on this planet. Christians are praising God for sending his Son to set us free from our greatest fear, death. Some of us are afraid of crowds, like this one. Many of us are afraid of traffic, like trying to get in here this morning. But there's not many fears that all of us share except death, whether it's our own or the death of someone we love. But we have to remember the resurrection, that death is no longer the end of a one-act play. Death is but the door, and now that Jesus has opened that door, no one can close it. And that is why on this Easter day, everyone is invited to reject sin, profess their faith, and be renewed in the vows of our own baptism, and be sprinkled with holy water, so that we may remind ourselves always and everywhere that we who share in Jesus' suffering, we who carry our crosses like him, will one day exchange them for crowns of glory.